I want to welcome you all into episode 31 of Trojan Talk. I'm Zach Tarenko here with Cole Purvis and Isaac Edwards. How you guys doing this morning?
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we'll start off by talking about the football team who got a win after two straight losses over Kennebunk. That was at Waterhouse Field. They won 15-13, a very close game. Cole, I want to ask you and I both broadcasted that game. You know, what went right for them, what went wrong, and after that I want you to tell me what should we expect in the next couple of games versus Bangor and Wyndham.
Well, it was such an ugly game, and if you listen to the broadcast, we said it a million times. The defense is playing really strong right now, but the offense has no identity, and they couldn't execute. The defense, I want to talk about them first, start with the positives. It could have been a shutout. Both of Kennebunk's touchdowns were really odd and fluky. You have that one play where they bobble the snap on the punt, and the punter picks it up and runs for the first down, putting them in perfect position for a touchdown. So that was a little bit fluky. And then you have that odd handoff play. Kennebunk guy gets flipped up in the air, hands it to his teammate, and he runs it in for the touchdown. So it easily could have been a shutout, could have been 15-0, but the offense is really where the problems are. I mean, it almost seemed at some points that they were trying to lose that game. Like the fumbles inside the red zone, and they had two key fumbles late in the game, and they just couldn't execute in the red zone at all when they got it into there. They were definitely a much better team than Kennebunk, but I think they expected to blow Kennebunk out, and that didn't happen. Their offense just didn't have a good day. I just don't really know what the strength of the offense is. The run game hasn't been there now for 3 straight games. Caden True, I think, gives them the most upside at quarterback, and we saw some flashes from him with a long touchdown run and some good punt returns. So there's always hope that if he can string together some good games, you'll turn things around. But definitely a little bit concerning on the offensive side of the ball. And they get Bangor this week, which shouldn't be much of a game. Bangor's 0-4, so a good chance to turn things around and figure out what's wrong.
Yeah, I think defense is great. Offense, I mean, if we just kind of run the ball more, I feel like we'll be all right. I feel that it shows that this team has tenacity and will persevere, because we lost 2 in a row. We could have just rolled over and said, hey, I mean, what are we doing here? But I mean, the defense showed up, and with this team is hurt. All right, a lot of guys are just hurt. A lot, little collarbone, Finn. I feel bad for him. He's sad, but
Yeah.
It shows that, and I think we got an easy week against Bangor, so we'll bounce back.
Yeah, I think as much as it may not have been the nicest win, and there might have been some problems, I think a win is a win for them, because at this point they just want to be getting wins to kind of get on a streak. But I think one of the things that we almost do, like not on purposely, but we compare them to last year's team, and obviously the team is not the same. So it's kind of hard to say, well, they're not playing well right now, when in reality it's a totally different team and totally different mentality. And you're right, Cole. I think that there's definitely things they could have fixed. The fumbles definitely hurt them in that game, but in my eyes, a win is a win at this point, because they need to just that's kind of the mentality they need to keep, even if they're giving up 30 points a game, because they need to just keep getting wins and keep moving forward. So
yeah, and last year there were so many seniors that graduated, so that leaves a lot of open holes this year, and a lot of inexperienced guys. So they're just getting their footing, and they should be better over the second half of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I bet it'll get better as the year goes on, especially the last couple of games of the season. But as you said, Cole, their game coming up is Bangor this weekend. The homecoming game at 1:30.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that is gonna be fun.
The place is gonna be rocking.
Yeah. So we're talking about the boys soccer team. So I know they were missing a few players last night. Their top scorer, Joao Pavai, was out. Harris started out again, and then Jeremiah Gomez, one of their better players, had 3 yellow cards, so he couldn't play in that game. And they tied Westbrook, which was kind of a shock, because Westbrook is, I think, 2-4-1, and they're not a very good team this year, and they tied them. The boys team is now 5-3-1. I know, just talking about them real quick, I know that they haven't had the greatest seasons the last couple of years, and are trying to piece together a good year. So not the greatest outcome for them, but they were missing a few players there. The girls soccer team is 6-2-1. They just beat Westbrook 6-1 at home on Tuesday. They have a big rematch of that quarterfinal game where they upset Scarborough on Thursday. So that'll be a good one for the girls soccer team. And just to finish up, the field hockey team has been playing in some pretty close games. They lost 2-1 in overtime to Sanford, and then just edged Falmouth 2-1 on Tuesday night. So the the girls field hockey team is doing a good job right now. But
I like our teams. Our teams are like 500 or above. I mean, we're all just chilling right now.
Yeah, we're in that part of the season where there's a few losses and maybe not the best games, but there's still a lot of games left. I know most of the teams play 14 or 15 games, so there's still a lot to go. So we're definitely excited. And looking at our TATV schedule, as I said, we have on Friday night we have our first girls volleyball game of the year. I think it might be our only one. I think because they don't have many home games left, but that is girls volleyball at 6:30 versus Marshwood. I'll be on the call with Josh Pulsifer, and then this weekend Cole and I will be doing the homecoming game, which is boys football versus Bangor. Should be a great game. That's at 1:30, and then the dance obviously is at 7. Are you guys both going?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice to see your guys' spirit in our dances. I know that we're having our spirit week this week, and today is what was it, like barbecue dads or soccer moms or something, and I don't.
Today's weird.
I should know what to do. I didn't know what to bring or anything, so I just didn't do it today, but.
Adam Sandler was fun. A lot of backwards hats.
A lot of people did that, which is nice. So we'll talk about the NFL right now, starting in 3 weeks in, and I will say that this is a pretty surprising year to me. A lot of teams who I thought might be undefeated or 2-1 or 1-2 or, 0-3. We'll talk about the Raiders, but tons of NFL injuries. Mac Jones, the high ankle sprain. There's just so many to count. Dalvin Cook is injured. Amon-Ra St. Brown is questionable. There's so many injuries. The first question I have for you guys is does this year seem any different than the last couple of years to you guys? I feel like there's been a lot more injuries. I feel like it's been a little more some crazy wins or anything like that. But does it feel like a normal NFL season to you?
See, we say that every year. It's funny to me. I remember last year and then the year before, everybody's saying there's so many injuries this year. There's so many injuries. I mean, it's football. This happens every single year. Stars go down. I would say there's been a lot of injuries for sure. But in terms of superstars, I wouldn't say like Mac Jones and TJ Watt are the two big ones, but last year you had Christian McCaffrey missing almost the whole season. Oh, I forgot about Dak too. But I mean, injuries are obviously just a part of the game, and let's talk about some teams off to good starts. The Dolphins, who I'm always been skeptical of. I think they're more of like the Cardinals in years past, where they have a flashy, high-powered offense with a lot of speedy skill guys and a young, offensive-minded, creative coach. I think they'll sputter out over the second half of the season. I don't really trust them. Good win against the Bills. Congrats, but I don't think that they're for real. But the Eagles, I do think the Eagles are for real. Jalen Hurts is playing amazing right now. Anybody that doubted his arm is not looking very good right now, and their play calling's been really good. They've gotten A.J. Brown really acclimated into that offense, and then Devontae Smith, after struggling to begin the season, had a good game on Sunday. So I think their team is really, really good and could definitely win the NFC.
I really think the Dolphins are for real. I mean, they beat one of the two best teams. They beat the Ravens in that crazy comeback in the fourth quarter, and they beat the Bills. So, I mean, they beat two best teams, and they showed that they can, win against good talent and good teams. And so this season is really weird. It's just a lot of teams that just come out of nowhere, and they're just like, oh, we're here, we're going to win. So, and then another weird team is the Raiders. They're 0-3, which nobody thought with Devontae Adams. So I feel like that's like Josh McDaniels. Hey, you want to come back to New England? We'll love to have you. I mean, with this having a bad year, we're pretty good.
I mean, the Raiders had played decent teams. I don't think anyone expected them to lose to the Titans. I had picked the Raiders to win that game, but I mean, when it comes to the Dolphins, I think the one thing I will say is I am a little skeptical, just like Cole. When they played the Bills, the Bills were missing Phillips.
Yeah, and they had a ton of starters out.
And they were missing Micah Hyde, who's I think is out for the season now.
Yeah, he is.
And so that, they're down there, and I gotta say, the Baltimore Ravens secondary isn't great, and one of the big reasons why they had that comeback was because they had Marlon Humphrey playing on Waddle. Or maybe Tyreek Hill in the first half, and they switched him, and then Hill was wide open. So, I mean, Tua played great in that game, but I'm with Cole. I think over the season, it's just gonna kind of sputter out. I assume they'll make the playoffs probably as a wild card team, because I still think the Bills are Super Bowl contenders. But yeah, it's definitely it feels more crazy to me. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a weird year.
And a good wake-up call early in the season for the Bills. A lot of people expected them to lose just one or two games. And did you see their offensive coordinator after the game?
Yeah.
I feel like we've all felt like that at some point in our lives watching sports, so I related to him a lot.
Yeah. So we'll look at the Patriots real quick, as if you missed it. Mac Jones left the game versus the Ravens, I think, right at the end with a high ankle sprain. And then everyone was debating on, will he need surgery? What will need to happen? And so there was a little bit of wouldn't call it a spectacle, but Mac Jones wants to take his time with the injury. He says that he could wait, doesn't need surgery, but would want to wait up to 6 to 8 weeks. The organization and Bill Belichick want him to come back as early as possible, which would probably be around 4 weeks from now. And there's definitely a little bit of tension between the two. So I want to ask you guys, do you think that Mac Jones should wait? You think they should try to bring him back as fast as possible, or it's better to just wait until he's fully healthy?
Well, I'm not a doctor, and neither is Bill Belichick, which he said in his press conference yesterday. I love Bill Belichick press conferences. They really make my day.
We just need to take it day to day.
Day by day.
Day by day.
Day by day.
Yeah.
Day by day.
Yep.
But Mac Jones hasn't been playing well, and injuries aside, this guy coming out of the draft, the reason we drafted him is because he protects the football. He plays Patriots football, doesn't turn it over. But he's been so reckless. He's been kind of just chucking it up, deep balls, and he's had his touchdown to interception ratio is 4-5. He's thrown more picks than touchdowns, and it could have been worse. You remember that Pittsburgh game? Nelson Aguilar made a great play on the ball. That could have been an interception. He's putting the ball in harm's way, especially in tight situations. They'll have a good drive, and then he'll throw a pick in the end zone. So I'm really not happy with how Mac Jones has played, but hopefully they can get him back as soon as possible. Well, I don't want to say as soon as possible because I really don't think the Patriots are going to do much this season. Just get him healthy enough to the point where when he's back, he'll be effective. And in the meantime, Brian Hoyer, he's a backup for a reason. We remember a couple years ago when Cam Newton had COVID and Brian Hoyer had to start a game on the road in Kansas City. He was absolutely terrible. Just made so many mistakes.
Yeah,
and I've been flashing back to that this week a lot. And I think if Brian Hoyer plays bad and struggles, and we get to the point where we're like, okay, let's just see what we have. We should go put Bailey Zappi in just to see what he has. So it's going to be really interesting and might be a rough year for the Patriots, but they do have kind of an easy schedule coming up. I know they have the Packers this week, but then they get the Bears, the Lions, Browns. So some winnable games, but probably going to be a rough year for New England, which is uncharacteristic.
Yeah, I feel like Mac Jones is he's fed up. He's got no talent around him. Like, he thinks he's got no talent around him, which he really doesn't. And it just shows that I really think he doesn't like the team where it is right now, so he's just like, hey, I really just want to take a few weeks off more than I want to, or I should. And then I feel like Brian Hoyer is like just there for like another offensive coach, like kind of. Like he helps a lot with the plays. He's always on the sidelines talking to Mac. Mm-hmm. So I feel like Zappi would be like, it would just be like kind of like see what this kid's got. I feel like we should put him in. Maybe if Hoyer comes out and throws a couple touchdowns this week, I mean, it would be fun and it would be like, wow, okay. But if he doesn't, Zappi should come in like for the next few weeks.
See, I think the Patriots can make it work with their offensive skill positions. Are they amazing? No, but Jacoby Myers has been proven to be a very good NFL wide receiver, and they've made it work. Devontae Parker showed flashes last game. Nelson Aguilar too. I think they can totally make it work with these guys if the quarterback plays well. And then Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson were really, really good last year. So we can blame it on the skill positions all we want, but I really don't think that's the biggest problem. I think Mac has to be better.
Okay.
Yeah, they would need a miracle to beat the Packers. And I could even say the same thing about like the Lions. Like if they have to play Zappi or Hoyer, I would say. I mean, the way that the Lions have been playing, obviously.
Yeah, Lions look good surprisingly. I mean,
they just had bad, not the greatest matchups. I mean, like that they played well in the Eagles game, but the Eagles were just better. So it's just a loss that they can't control. But if you've missed any of the normal news, there is a huge Hurricane Ian, heading through the west side of Florida and really probably going to hit most of it. And so they're saying that if the Chiefs are playing at Tampa Bay Sunday night. They said if it's too bad, the conditions are too bad, they can't because that area might be evacuated. The game is going to be in Minneapolis. So first, I want to ask you guys, like, why did they pick Minneapolis? It's just I feel like they could have done any other stadium. But then also, do you think that playing a neutral site will change the? I mean, like looking at that game, like first off, what do you think who's going to win? And do you think playing a neutral site will change the factor in that game?
I think Tampa Bay will will probably win. It's hard to see them losing 2 in a row, just how that Packers game ended. But I think it would be cool to play in Minneapolis. You know, it's kind of weird because Tampa and Minneapolis obviously very far away from each other.
Yeah.
It almost feel like a Super Bowl environment in a neutral site. Minnesota has a great stadium. I hope they play another Super Bowl there soon because their stadium is really cool. But anyway, I think the Bucs will win. I can't see them dropping 2 in a row, and it'll be a good game.
I think they should have had the game at Gillette. Bring back Tom. That would have been insane.
I heard that was one of the places they were thinking about.
Yeah, but the Chiefs, I think, will win. I don't know. Tom it isn't the same Tom that we had for a couple of years. I don't know if it's off the field stuff or just on the field stuff. So I think Mahomes will show up this Sunday night in Minneapolis. So
yeah. It'll be a good game after that. The loss to Indianapolis. I'm not sure. I feel like right now I'm skeptical about a lot of teams. I know like the Chargers had a lot of injuries and lost to the Jaguars, but they're still 1-2. Like like why did that happen? But I definitely think it'll be a good game, and I wish it would have come to Gillette. That would have been cool because I know a lot of people would have loved to go to that.
Yeah.
But we'll finish up with a couple more topics. So just real quick, Zdeno Chara retired, longtime Bruin, signed a 1-day contract to finish his career in Boston. I don't know if you guys know a lot about Chara, but I want to ask, do you think he'll get his jersey retired fairly quickly?
Hey, you're happy. Preseason for NHL started up.
Yep.
Zach is livid, or not livid. He is so excited. He's so happy. This is his favorite time of the year. But Zeno was a great player for the Bruins. I mean, he's the tallest player to ever play, or one of the tallest. He's really he's a big. He when he scored, it was just like the goalie couldn't stop the puck. So I think his number will definitely be retired. He's one of the best Bruins.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. My hockey knowledge is limited.
That's okay. You make up for it with your football and basketball and baseball knowledge. And then one of our last topics here is Aaron Judge gets number 61. I don't know if you saw 61, but the ball landed in between. What was it? In between the wall and the
I saw that.
bleachers.
A fan just missed the catch.
So it went into a hole that no one could really get to. So the ball just kind of ended up. I'm assuming they probably got it for Judge at the end. But
did.
What do you think about this number 61? I mean, he ties the record. He still has 7 or 8 games left to try to get one more. But what do you think?
I was a little bit frustrated why they weren't pitching to him. In that series against the Red Sox, they kept walking him. I don't know why. Just don't be afraid. If he hits number 61, then so be it. Just pitch to him. I wanted them to strike him out. That would have been cool to strike him out with everybody watching. But I mean, I obviously don't like the Yankees, but I do like Aaron Judge. I think he's a good guy, and I'm glad that he got number 61. He's had a great year. Come to the Red Sox next year, Aaron Judge.
Yeah, if we pay him. But so I think he's gonna break the record. This end of the MLB season is really fun. You got I don't know if you guys watch the end of the baseball season. Baseball is kind of but dying off a little bit. But the NL East, you have the Mets and the Braves. I mean, that's one of heated. They're tied and they're trying to win the division.
Yep.
So
yeah, it's definitely an exciting time, especially because I know that the way that they do the wild card games is that almost immediately after the season ends, 1 day or 2 days after they start the wild card.
And they
games.
changed the format this year, so there's more wild card teams. And it's a best of 3 series instead of the one game.
Okay. So is it what? It's is it 3 wild card teams now?
Yeah,
3 teams.
Yeah. So I mean, makes it a little more interesting for some teams. I feel like it's always been it's tough. You have to be. You win your division or they're one of the top 2 other teams, and if you don't make it, then even if you have a good season or a good record, you don't make it. So that's a tough one. But I hope Judge beats the record just because it's just cool to see someone beat a record like that. But I don't know. He's being walked a lot. I think it would be really unfortunate if he just couldn't get it because he only really gets a couple of good chances at it. But we'll have to see. I know there's still a couple games left, and that I know the wild card games start October 7th, I think. So still some games left for them. But we'll finish up today's episode with the second week of Pick the Winners. Isaac, you weren't with us when we did it last week, so you'll fill in for Jeff's picks.
Better pick some good ones. I want to see my record because I think I did pretty well last week.
Well, none of us really did fantastic. Cole, you are leading right now, which was not the
way to
case
go,
last
Cole.
year. Last year, Cole started 0-6 or 0-9 or something. Cole is 2-2, and Jeff and I were 0-4.
Oh, all right.
So so we all picked the Bills and they lost. We all picked the Chargers and they lost. And then me and Jeff picked the Giants and the Cardinals, and you picked the Rams and the Cowboys. So
Sure.
All right.
So we'll have a couple games, mostly football again, because not a lot of stuff left. But we'll start off an interesting one, I think, or just kind of one that's pretty close, is the Titans at the Indianapolis Colts.
I think the Colts should win this game on paper, and I don't feel great about it, but I'm going with the Colts.
I can pick the same, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
go,
All
yeah,
right,
whatever you
yeah,
want.
Yeah. The Colts, J.J. Taylor. I mean, come
Okay.
on. Yeah.
I'm gonna go the Titans with this one. I think the Titans are. I don't know if you call it an upset. I just think they play well in that game. The next one I have for you guys is the Bills at the Ravens.
See, this is probably the best game of the week, and again, like I said with the Bucks earlier, I don't think the Bills lose 2 in a row. So, Bills in a gritty win over a good Ravens team.
I'm gonna pick the Ravens just to go against Cole because
I'm gonna pick the Bills as well. I think that'll be a good win for them, and unfortunate for the Ravens because they've played good teams so far. Then we have, I mean, this is a gimme, but I just wanted to do it just cause, right? Patriots at the Packers.
Definitely the Packers. I just wanted to say I said best game of the week. I completely forgot about the Bucks game. So second best game of the week, Bills game. But yeah, Packers definitely.
Packers. Yeah. Surprisingly, yeah. Just
Give ourselves a gimme game, so we won't be
get some points on the board.
Yeah. And then the Chiefs at the Bucks. Well, it's probably not going to be at the Bucks. Probably be in Minneapolis, but
like I said earlier, I'm picking the Bucks.
and I'm picking the Chiefs.
I'll go Chiefs as well.
Mahomes, baby.
And then the last one is the Monday night game, the Rams at the 49ers with Jimmy G.
That's Cole's guy.
I'll take the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams too. Jimmy ran out of the end zone, so he doesn't know where he is on the field.
I saw a joke though that people were saying that he was actually smart to do that because if he wouldn't have, he gave up a pick six. Which, so he saved the team 5 points when he really didn't do that.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go with the Rams as well. I think 49ers just don't have it right now. That would be a cool upset to see on a Monday night, but. Those games, like I always say, this is like Monday night. It's either really high scoring and like crazy game.
Yeah,
and
that Dallas game was like.
Yeah, it's like high scoring, no defense, or it's like nobody can score a point. And
Yeah.
it ends up being like 13-9 or some crazy number. All right, well that is going to do it for episode 31 of Trojan Talk. I want to again thank Isaac and Cole for coming in, and we will see you all next week for another episode.